From this interview, we can conclude that less selective schools, such as those where Miss Morissette worked, do not take race or socioeconomic status into account. This school accepted about 2/3 of the applicants. However, this is not the case with more selective schools, such as the University of Texas, which accepts just under 40% of their applicants. This school was actually sued by a student who felt that race was too much of a factor in their admissions process. The case actually reached the United States Supreme Court in 2013. In Fisher v. University of Texas at Austin, Abigail Fisher and the prosecution argued that the school's policy of giving racial preferences to preferred minorities was discriminatory and infringes upon the rights guaranteed in the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. The lower court found that the university's newly asserted interest in enrolling more minority students from majority white schools, otherwise known as qualitative diversity, justified its use of racial preferences. What resulted was that schools now must prove that their application of racial criteria is narrowly tailored to further the compelling interests of the Constitution's mandate of equal opportunity for all. The Supreme Court allowed schools to continue using racial preferences, so long as these preferences were intended to promote the quote-unquote educational benefits that flow from an ethnically diverse student body. Now, does everyone that uses racial preference do it for that reason? It seems that there are but a few benefits that universities see from maintaining a diverse campus. Much of what determines this is the type of integration the school implements and what results, either de jure or de facto integration. De jure integration is implemented by the law. It does not necessarily mean that the people will begin to socially accept one another, but instead would cover things such as same-race bathrooms. De facto integration is the type of integration that actually occurs and is carried out by the people. Schools such as the University of Alabama implement de jure integration so that, on paper, the school does not seem racist, although there's a strong hate culture against non-whites at the school. Simply having a certain amount of each ethnic group accepted does not mean that there is not a social divide between these groups. So, de facto integration has not yet occurred here, and there are little to no benefits for this type of integration. This was exemplified in their sorority selection against a perfectly qualified half-black student who watched her similarly qualified peers receive bids from every sorority they visited. It was not until a friend of hers at the University of Oklahoma, who was part of a diverse sorority, pointed out the predominantly white composition of these groups. Another reason schools